Okay, hello, good morning. Yes, what are we going to do? So last time we were working on testing this new API for state machines. Like, I think it's really wise of us to do these iterations because all of Overmind is based on experience building apps, the API surface. So that is why, for example, Overmind has operators because they are super powerful to do certain things. But at the same time, you want the straightforwardness of just a plain imperative action because that's typically enough. And then this concept of state machines and state charts, that's not something I have experienced actually using in an app. This is actually the first time I'm properly using one of these concepts in an app. And then it needs to be practical. That's the most important thing with Overmind. It's not to be true to the concept, but take benefits from the concept and make it practical. So that's what we're doing here with the state machine. But yeah, I'm actually super happy with this API because now we have the transition always clears out the existing state, and then you explicitly pass in the new state and everything's typed. And then you have this effects callback where you can continue doing stuff where auth state, where you get the typed state here if you need it. So I think that works really well. And I fixed the last piece of typing yesterday. So now if we go to, for example, authenticating, so authenticating doesn't take any state, right? So previously you could write whatever you wanted here, but now you can't do that because it should be empty. But you can, let's see, put any of the partial state here. Do we have any partial state on auth? No, we don't. Let's see. Inside backlog item, we have some base state. So if I go to some transition here, for example, valid, let's see, what did we call them? Here we have, I can still set active weekdays if I want to do that, because that's part of the base state. So whatever transition you move into, you have to define the state that's needed for that transition state. And then optionally, you can also change the base state if you need to do that, which is how it should work. Yes, and also fix the error. So now when the state machine resets its state, it's based on the keys you added last time. Oh, I just noticed. Oh, I think we have another bug, but that's okay, because I want to show you the insane typing for this. Okay, so what I needed to do, I needed to identify when you actually have an empty object, but there is no type for that. When you type something like this just means any object with any keys and any values. It doesn't, like, it can be anything. But we want to explicitly check for an empty object. So when we look at this state to figure out what, like for example, error here, we remove this key, the state, and then we want to check, is the result of removing the state, is that an empty object or is there something there? And the way you do that is this, like my eyes burn just looking at this. So the way I express it is, you see here, exact, we're removing the state property, and then we're checking, is it an exact match to this empty object, which is basically means any object typically. But for some reason, this works. I haven't actually looked at it, and it probably makes a lot of sense, but yeah, this is the typing that allows this. Cool, but I said there was a bug here, and the bug is that since we are allowed to pass in base state when we do our transition, it's not only the state specific to that transition, but it can also be base state. We don't want to remove keys that are of base state. So we have to check that. So let's see. We have current keys. So what we can do here is, oh, we already have base here. So maybe we can say base keys, object keys, and then we'll have to make sure that we actually have a base. Yeah, we always have a base. So what we do, we have the base keys, and then we're only going to remove the key if not the base keys includes this key. So we have to do not, then we're going to delete it. We're not going to delete it if that state is going to live on beyond the transition, meaning it's a base state. Okay, so let's just push this, and then we're going to continue on our app. Yeah, but I really think we're getting somewhere. And I don't think we're going to introduce any exit hooks. Because overmind actions doesn't have the concept of, like, you run an action, and when it's done running, the action is like dead. Nothing can happen in that action. If we were to introduce like some on exit hook here, the action would like live beyond its execution time, and that's not what I want. We did talk about concepts where you could point to a state machine and add listeners and stuff. So that would rather trigger an action. That will be possible to do later if we get into that situation. Okay, bug fix. Exclude base state keys on delete, on resetting state machine state. And let's push that. Okay, back to our app. Cool. So we were playing around with this stuff. Where were we at? We wanted to, well, one thing is we have to clean up the UI a little bit. We have to introduce this avatar thing. Let's see, edit current week. List. Is this the, oh yeah, that's the list itself. Yeah, and then we're just, oh yeah, backlog item. Oh, here we are. We have this, let's see, weekday picker. What are we missing here? Oh yeah, we introduced a color here. So we were playing around with, let's see. So we do have a color. Why is it that one now? We changed it to being, oh, did we actually? Oh, weekday button. Where's that? That's weekday button. Why is the border? Oh, sorry. There it is, main. So we need to define thin. Okay, so we're going to say border style. Oops. Thin. No, solid. Solid, and border size is thin. And then we need to set the color down here instead. Border color. And we're going to have the same check. Maybe we can just do this. Color, border color, or we don't have anything there. Undefined. Sorry if you're hearing the noise outside. Cool. So now we need to pass in the color. So we need to calculate the color from this UID. So we need a tool for that. Did we actually? Yeah, string. Wow, I can't even remember this. So we have string to color. So that means inside backlog item, it should be possible for us to, here we have the UID. So we should be able to say string to color UID. Oh. Outside the module. What the hell does that mean? Huh, that was weird. Well, that wasn't a very interesting color. Let's see what it actually creates. Is this a valid color? 6F0139. Maybe it is a grayish color, that would be typical. Color picker. No, there should be. Why isn't this showing as a color? Oh, yeah, it's because none of them are active. Oh, so we should have a border color no matter. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's my fault. So we should always have. Okay, anyways. We should always have a border color, but if it's selected, then it also fills in the button. And then it's this whole thing, like if I now click, it's like a dark text there, and it should be white instead. So the way I did it in the app is that I just had preset colors, and then based on the order of the profiles, because that's the same every time, it would choose the color. So maybe we should do that instead, because calculating the color of the text based on a dynamic color of the background doesn't really work that well. To properly do it, you have to have like a AI thing. I saw this example. Anyways, like there are calculations for this, but it's not perfect. And maybe there's some other trick to this. But anyways, let's do that. Yeah, I guess we're just going to mess around with styling for the rest of the session. So we need like a container. Oh, we're calling it card. So the card needs to be, let's see, we're going to have, yeah, we don't need this one. Where do we insert? Oh, there's the description. Okay, so what we want, yeah, the avatar should be in front of the other thing. So first of all, yeah, this should be like a column thing. I guess this is okay. I guess we can give it like a margin. Yeah, let's give it a margin top of like, what can this be? Yeah, margin, but did I introduce margin Y? I can't remember any of this. Did I do that? No. Margin top, margin. There we go. Yeah, why doesn't these have any profile? Maybe we were messing around with storing stuff. Okay, and then we need, so we have the description. So the description should also get a little bit of space. And then it's the weekday picker container. We're divvying this all the way because I'm just a lazy person. We actually talked about this. Like there is this brewing concept of if you've seen like theme UI, is it called theme UI React? think this is it. Theme UI. No, system UI, I think. No, it's theme UI. Are still available. Yeah, here we are. So what you do is, if you think about styling, so for example, what Tailwind CSS does, it takes the low-level concept of CSS properties and then creates an abstraction using class names. Now, if you think about this in terms of components, instead of like style components doesn't really create an abstraction. It's still, the only thing it does is introduce CSS properties into JavaScript. That's conceptually what it does, in the form of a component. But it's not really an abstraction up from using CSS properties. So what they're doing here is, do we have like a proper example? Explore the docs. So what they're doing here, they have this base thing, I believe. Components. Yeah, so they have this base of a box, and this box has a bunch of properties that that are like an abstraction over CSS properties. So you don't think about CSS properties. The only thing you think about are the properties of this box. And what's interesting about that is if you start doing that, you can also start thinking about HTML elements the same way. So if you imagine HTML elements is as low level as CSS properties, they're kind of the same thing. The natural thing would be to create, like, for example, a box. So you never write a pure element, you always use a box. And then on that box, you can say as button. So that's how you express, like, what's the semantics of this box? You use the as prop for that. But then you have the styling directly on it, like this. So you have the semantics and you have the styling. And what this allows us to do is to create these abstractions on top. For example, flex. So flex is based on box, but it has like certain properties. I don't know what property, like direction or something, that allows you to set the direction. So you get like abstracted properties that make sense for what you're trying to express. But you still have like, I bet you still have like, did you have that? Yeah, so you still have the base stuff for doing styling, but then you have like a direction column or something. I don't know what they call it. Oh, they don't actually have, yeah, anyways, it could have that. And because if you think about it, it's very, very difficult to create like a base element. Like HTML is insanely complex, so it makes a ton of sense to create an abstraction over it. So for example, if you were to use as A, for example, you will be able to say that you might give it some default what's it called, area attributes, and you can make those required through typing, for example. The thing is, like, an HTML element isn't just the thing you type here. There's more to it. So for example, an image should always have an attribute, like an attr attribute and stuff like that. So the point is that you can create a more consistent behavior and a more accessible UI by using this abstraction, removing yourself from the low-level code. It's just like managing state. You use a state management tool to manage state. It's like you should use UI tool to manage like HTML elements. And this is the kind of abstraction that can do that. Anyways, I'm going way off here. What were we doing? Style.div. Oh yeah, this needs to display flex. Weekday picker container. So this is the weekday picker container. Yes, they need to be next to each other. And then we also, yeah, and this one actually returns an array of, this should be weekdays. So let's create weekdays, and that should also be weekdays. Display flex with justify content. I think it's space between or something. Yeah, it's probably not big enough right now because we have this huge ass UID. Let's just do a string to color for now. Oh, I thought this was supposed to, oh, maybe we don't. Do I have to set like width 100%? Oh, god damn it. This one as well. There we go. Yeah, so maybe not space between, but space around or something. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, so we're going to have an avatar here. So maybe we can create that now. And then we need to create a name of the profile, which we can grab. So these are the active weekdays profile name, and that would be days by profile UID. Yeah, we talked about, yeah, creating a derived that actually holds the, is that where it stopped? We wanted a derived of the UIDs with a name, because if you're alone, your profile is on profile. Oh, sorry, off. Yeah, so if you're alone, your name is on, yeah, here we have profiles, sorry. Yeah, here we have profiles, but we wanted, did we want profiles to be a derived? I think we did want to do that, because either the profile is like, has a family. Yeah, so currently we don't have the concept of a family here. We only have profile, but profiles might be related to a family or not. So we really wanted this to be a derived. Now the question is, with our new state machine update, do we really want profiles? I think deriveds should be like a base state. I really think that. So that you don't like add and remove derived. I guess it doesn't really matter, because we do allow that. Yeah, it would be interesting to test it. Okay, so let's try that first. So whenever we, well, it's, no, I think it's cleaner to have it like in a base state. Because then you don't have to set the derived every time. So we're going to have base state here. Now it wants that to be inserted here. So we have profiles, and that should be a derived. Oops, state. Okay. That should be a derived, and this needs to, so we have to check if state. Oh yeah, now we're not actually, oh, this is kind of, how should we do this? Because this type isn't, this isn't the state machine type. But we're actually getting a state machine here. So what we can do, we can say state equals authenticated. And then we get the typing for that. But ideally we would like use the matches API. I think maybe. What makes the most sense there? Okay, let's just do this for now. Let's do what we were set out to do. So if we're authenticated, we want to basically return, we want to check if we have a family. But currently we don't have a family, so we don't need to write that logic. What we want to do is we want to use we basically just want to do this. So we have state.profile now since we're authenticated, and we want the UID for that. And then we want to say state.profile.name. And then it's complaining. What are you complaining about? Oh, the right. There we go. Okay, so now we have profiles being derived. What we have to be careful about now is that we are overriding in some action here. We are overriding profiles. We don't want to do that. Yes. I wonder why this is starting to pop up. This is new. Let me take a screenshot of that. Okay, so now we are based on the authenticated state. We build this object of state profiles, of profile UIDs and their names, which means that when we're inside the backlog item here, we can grab the name by looking at well, basically state auth.profiles. And then using the UID of the user. That should give us the name. Cool, but it might not, yeah, it says string. Okay, cool. So now we have the name. So let's try to use the name instead. Let's see. Yeah, now it gives my name. That's nice. But we want to shorten it. We want to create this avatar component thingy. So maybe we can finish off by doing that. Let's see. New file, avatar. React from React. Export avatar React FC. And this avatar component should take color and a name. Yes. And then what we're going to do here is color name. And what we're going to do is to return, well, avatar, what are we going to call it? Avatar circle, something. Sorry. And then we're going to have some utility that grabs, like, we want 2 letters inside that circle. So we're going to grab that from the name dynamically, create a little utility for that, get initials from the name, and then we are going to set, I guess we can use style here, border color is color. Okay, so let's create this avatar circle. Yeah, maybe we can explore this concept of using a box, because I think this is the kind of the missing part now, is that missing part is maybe the wrong. Well, the thing is, like these, I'm not sure what theme UI runs on. Because what you want this to be atomic, because you're applying these, you are applying these styles, and you don't want it to create like a new class name for every single usage of these components. I just wonder, does it say anything about what it's running on? Maybe we can look at the dependencies. Package JSON. Dependencies. Does it have any dependencies? Ooh, only dev dependencies? Oh, yeah, they're using atomic. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so the point is you really want it to be atomic. And yeah, so what is this missing? I guess this isn't really missing anything. This is kind of the core idea. So the point is that instead of thinking about your building blocks as elements, your building block is a box. That's what you're working with. And then you don't think about any styling. But what I think these guys are doing is they're kind of introducing all these preset things, which is kind of nice, I guess. Yeah, but you could have a library that only introduces this box. So instead of having like a React specific implementation of all these components, you rather have a more generic project where you have a box, and then you have a box for each type of library. So you have a box for Vue, you have a box for React, and they all use the same styling approach underneath. So you don't really think about styling. Yes. I think that will be super, super valuable, because then you build all these abstractions yourself, which is kind of what you typically want in bigger applications. But you could, yeah, so like here they have like a variant secondary. This is something they have chosen to do, which is maybe not what you want to do. Yeah, and they theme by components. So the way you would do with only a box is that you would only have tokens that maps to different CSS properties. So I think I want to do this. I think I want to build like a box library that's built on top of stitches, because then you have the atomic mindset underneath without even thinking about it. And then you have the tokens, which bleeds into the typing of the box. And then you create abstractions on top of that box. That would be super interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to play around with that. Anyways, we have some extra time today because we have offsite week at Codesandbox, so we're not starting until 11 actually. But I do want to prepare some things. We're not going to go all crazy here. So we have styled, and this should be border radius 50%. Border size, I guess we'll use thin. Border, not type, what is it? Style is, oh my god, solid. Cool. And then I guess we want a little bit of padding here. So let's do padding 1. And then we're going to create our get initials, and we're going to do it very simply. We are going to export, what did I call it? Get initials. Export const name string. So we're basically just going to take the name, we're going to split it on space, and then we're going to map that by grabbing the first letter part, the first letter, and then we're going to slice so that we only get 2. It's the end index. Yeah, I think we'll say 2, and then we get like 0 and 1. I think that's the way it's done. And now we just join it. So we get them next to each other. Yes, let's try this. Get initials. Get initial. Oh, from over my utils. Cool. So now we have our avatar. So I guess we can do this instead. Avatar color. Oh, I guess we need to. Oh, come on. Color. And then we had name. Was it name? Something like that. Let's see. Import avatar from UI components avatar. Hey, that didn't look totally shitty. Let's change the font size to be like, did I have different font sizes? I guess it's these ones. Is that what I added? Font. No, we only have sizes. We don't have font sizes here. Font sizes. 0 would be like 10 pixel. 1 would be 12 pixel. 2 would be like 16 pixels or something. Something like that. Yeah. I guess this is, yeah, and we should probably, on the avatar, we want this to display flex. Oh, come on. Display flex, and we want it to align item center. I guess we don't need justify content, but let's just do that as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty okay. So now it's starting to look like something. Cool. Maybe we can give the card here. What do we call it? Card. Border bottom. Do I have this kind of typing? No, we don't have that typing. Border bottom. Yeah, anyways. Border bottom style. Oh. Oh, sorry. I always mix those two. Style. Size. Border bottom color. And I guess we don't really have. Yeah, we want another color here. What colors do we have? White, black, gray. Let's do gray. Yeah, something like that. But we also want margin bottom here to be like 1 or something. 2. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, we'll figure that out. This thin wasn't very thin, was it? Did we have like sizes here? 1 pixel. Oh, why doesn't it? That's weird. Is that the thinnest? What the hell? Oh, it doesn't seem to actually insert. That's weird. So we have the solid, but it's not inserting the size. That must be a bug. Anyways, because do we have any kind of typing there? Yeah, this seems to just be a bug. Anyways, we should probably update to Stitches is released now, so we should actually change to actual Stitches API. Anyways, let's stop there. So we got a little bit further. So what we should do next time is to make sure that interaction works there, and that we also get these disabled days in there. We need those as well. Cool. Yes, happy about this, and again happy about the. It looks like the state machine API is really settling now. It becomes more and more evident how it should be used, so that's a good thing. Yep. Okay, cool. That's it for now. I just talked about what we should do next, so let's do that tomorrow, and we'll talk more then. Okay, bye bye.